Hey, welcome back. It's another one. This one has a little controversy behind it. Red Rooster. So, cue the intro! So, hello. I am the geek protagonist. And today, I'm going to review from Allegiance Comics, Red Rooster. Check out the cover. Check out the back. I love this, that they do this. I think that is so cool. Like if I saw more comics do that, like a Cyber Frog with a thing on there, or like Franklin and Ghost that have their like heads right there, that would be cool. So this one has a little bit of controversy, but before I go into it, this is Red Rooster, Season 1, Episode 1, Fear the Dawn. Mitch Breitweiser does the art and the story. Mark Pellegrini does the writer, or is the writer. Mitch Breitweiser does the cover. Elizabeth Breitweiser does the colorist. Chris Kendrick is design and layout. Mitch Breitweiser is the creator. Eric Weathers is the letterer. Hernan Octavio is the color flatter, and Patrick Stiles is the editor. Now, you're probably wondering why it says art and story versus the writer. Well, story layout to, who actually wrote it. You can have someone do the concept and everything, and then someone execute it. So, this opens up where it's having a conversation about someone who's digging into the ground. Looks like you see he's actually digging a grave. Having a conversation with that person in the cabin, talk about how everything fell apart. And it says, "Here lies Rascal. He was a good boy." And he goes, "It's time to head home." You see a situation. The guy's heading towards a train station. And there's this really large man with an interesting balding head. And he's trying to hurt this kid. If you hear a wind thing, I'm sorry, it's hot and I didn't want to run the air, so you're probably hearing the fan. But you see this kid's like stepping up to the dude, telling him about the money back, and they go through some other stuff. I actually think this was a dynamic art scene. I know some people probably think it's like, why? But I do. I like the contrast here. It shows the size of the guy to the kid, and then the ratio of the hero running up on him. Like, it really did a great thing on the distance. Now, they get into a fight. He puts a hurting on him. You see he has the ring on. The kid mentions, will you sign my bubblegum card? And, he's talking about how he's not a wimp, and that's why kind of that Captain America thing of, I'm going to fight, but it's kind of like the Red Rooster did it, so I'm going to do it, being inspired. It's cool he did an autograph. I actually thought it was really good. The time period definitely is kind of back in the day. You see this guy is, he's not a small guy. He's a very well-in-shape kind of guy. I love that exchange he had with the kid. I always love when a hero does that. So, like Amazing Spider-Man 2, even though some people have an issue with that movie, one of the things I loved was you really did get to see him be neighborhood Spider-Man. I even think the Marvel ones kind of lack that. Like, he's in the neighborhood, he's hero, he helps people in the neighborhood, cross streets, stuff like that. Spider-Man's awesome. So, you see him talk about don't count on it, then you see then it kind of jumps to where you see like a serial where the guy has his thing, and you find out this is like an old 30s kind of story. Looks like he pulls out a lasso or a whip, pulls someone off of a thing, got the iron jaw, he's fighting them. They do the whole, yes, we're the guys, good guys, all right, haha, hero, here's Tiny, and there's the dog, and they roll off. And then it has this part that I actually thought was cool. Wherever light is at its lowest and shadows are at their longest, Red Rooster and the Order of the Dawn will be there to fight the good fight. Now, a word from today's sponsor. And they got like a guy that looks like kind of like the Lone Ranger. Somebody who reminds me a little bit of like Wonder Woman, or closer to Black Canary. Red Rooster, kind of the punch thing. You see the guy, I think his name was Tiny? Strong Boy. I think Tiny. He has the sledgehammer, and you see someone that reminds you of Zorro. So it's kind of like This guy reminds me a little bit of Batman. That dude reminds me of the strongman of circus. And then you got the guy flying the plane like the old Red Baron. So this is kind of harking back to stuff like the Phantom, Zorro, the Shadow, Lone Ranger, Mandrake the Magician, Flash Gordon to a degree, but not in space, Rocketeer, that kind of feel. But check out that crew. I actually think that's not bad. But you see they're looking at a cereal, and they're kind of going through the whole thing, and they talk about the crew, and you see them with the dog, and they're just kind of going through the whole thing, and they're actors, and they're doing the propaganda, drink this sody pop, it's good stuff, and R. Goldman, and you get a feel. But I like what the kids were talking, because that's how kids were, like, hey, these heroes and stuff, and you get him doing that. And what I found interesting, they're talking about the commercial, and he wrestles getting flat. You see her with the dog. She kind of teases Red Rooster because he apparently has a belly, even though this guy is actually like walking muscles. But she'll notice like his weight difference and whatever, which was a good joke. And I like the way they handled her. She talked direct to him, but she didn't talk like bowing to him. But she didn't do the over "I am woman, hear me roar, do you understand?" from back in the day. And I thought that was really good. They get their letter. Now, what I did find interesting is that you see this thing where they're kind of going through it. Strong Boy's dealing with the root beer. He's like, I want the root beer. And he's about to beat up a guy. And you start noticing as the conversation is going, it's talking heroic, kind of, but not so much. And you start to see it kind of changing. And it's like, wait a minute. They're not talking about just the show. What are they talking about? So it goes to a train, and then you get to see, I'll show you this for that. Nothing too crazy, but great splash page. Different villains, things like that. Old school villains kind of remind me of Dick Tracy a little bit, and the Femme Fatale kind of feel. And I thought it was handled really well. The dude, as he's talking, is getting creepier. You're starting to see like bugs and stuff come out, which you eat, and you don't want to see bugs crawling everywhere. And he's talking about how we got to take down a Red Rooster, and it's like a secret organization, but you don't know what's going on, but yet the villains are around. You see the guys flying, they're flying a plane. They're coming there to help. They're talking to the mayor. It has that old serial feel, but it flowed just like it. I don't know if any of you. So I had a teacher who was awesome, right? He played these old radio serials when we had the summer, and when he wanted to show us some stuff about history and things. And one was like The Shadow, and I love The Shadow. Great movie too. I hope they do another one. And about the Phantom, you would hear they were like, "I'm opening the door," and I'm going through. It has that kind of flow. But it also has a flow. If you ever read the Rocketeer or read the Shadow comic, how they like took it and adjusted it for the comic, it feels that way, and I give them a lot of credit. And you see like the villains there, and it's like, okay, well, what can all these villains do? And you get like a little thing of a setup here for the town, because the Red Rooster gets called in. You find out they're actually agents and heroes, and you get the next month. Stay tuned. Then you get some things about the background to the Red Rooster, what it's about, who he is, has that old serial, like I said, got the secret document, little splash page at the end. I thought that was cool. You also get to see the dog for real, which I thought that was great. And of course, they're closing with discover every hero and everything. And I think that's just a smart idea. The advertisement keeps it in the person's mind. So now, with me giving the praise of what it was, I thought the writing was pretty well done and everything. Before I go into a little bit of the controversy, the book did sometimes lean, in my personal opinion, too far into the old thing. Like the flow, sometimes it was kind of like, all right, I want to get to the next thing, I want to get there, but it wasn't bad. And that's why I spoke so highly of it. Like a lot, like, yo, it did this, it did that. These were all these points I'm pointing out were very good. I definitely am interested in the villains. The heroes, I want to see the guy with the two guns. I want to see the Zorro guy. Love westerns, love Lone Ranger. The story did feel kind of rushed a little and a little rough around the edges. Not that it was like horrendous, but but overall, I actually reread it because the first time I was kind of like, do I really want to get this again? But after rereading it, I kind of was like, this does have some charm, flavor, and enough to bring me on. So I'm going to say that this one is a good time. I'll definitely buy the second one. Now, I will say this, though. It's kind of got to start kicking it up. Well, I feel like it will. Because if it kind of goes down this route for the next issue, I may not pick it up for a third. So I'm hoping that it kind of kicks me into some actual action and give me a little bit more of the story on what's happening and what's going on. Now, the controversy. This book was supposed to be out from people that backed it, and they did not get the book before it hit the shelves. Now, I know the husband and wife, the Breitweisers and stuff, they said that they had a choice to either hold off the entire thing of these books with this opportunity, or give you your books, or hold off and you have to do this. Now, here's what I think. No, I think this is fantastic that another independent comic. I want more independent comics to step up. I don't want everyone just to focus on Marvel, DC, IDW, and Dark Horse and Image. Like, I want more, and to give people a lot of variety in different ways for the people who may want something a little different. Now, there's people, once again, I've mentioned this before, this is Comicsgate. Why does Comicsgate? Shut up. It's a comic book. It's out. Stop worrying about Comicsgate. Read the book. If you like it, yeah. If you don't, don't. If you're saying there, I don't like the person's personal politics, I'm going to tell you something right now. The person, your favorite writer, 9 times out of 10, has said some jackass stuff. And has said some stuff off the wall and insulting, whether you agree with it or not. Too many people keep taking the one side to the other. Now, for them, the people who back this, I personally feel that they should get something for that. Because that's not fair that they get it. I'm a person who crowdfunds, and I would be a little upset if I'm getting a book and then I come to find out I backed the book and stuff. And I know you get your perks, but I feel like you should give your fans something. Maybe a cool card or something. Just as a thank you, like, hey, you know what? You were here. We know what just happened. Thank you. You know? So that's really it. The Red Rooster, I like the lore. When I read it at the end with the mask, I actually had an idea. I think when I wrote when I was a kid was something about a magic mask, and you got like Apex. I like that kind of story where the mask does something and you got to do your heroic-y kind of thing. So it definitely, if you like the Shadow, Rocketeer, Dick Tracy, Phantom, those old kind of comics, this kind of feels like that. Even has a little 60s Batman flair, but definitely more of the old ones. If you ever seen the older Batman serial from like 1930s, I told you I had this teacher that showed us all these awesome things. It felt like that, and in a good way. So I said, like I said, I had a good time with it overall. It's a little lower good time, but a good time nonetheless. I'm gonna buy the next issue, but the next issue, this was a good setup, but I needed to turn it up. And I wish they would have turned it up a little bit more in this issue, but that's okay. That's just my personal flavor. So, yeah, I think this is going to be another one, and then we'll see. And if the second one doesn't get me, I'm drop it too. So, yeah, this is the Geek Protagonist. I have one more, and this is the one that I was waiting for. This is the one I was most excited about. I mentioned it in the video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay real, and the Geek Protagonist is out. Hey, thank you for visiting my channel. This is the Geek Protagonist. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Please, it'll really help me out in the channel if you actually share these videos, if you like what I'm doing. Please hit that bell notification. Hit it, click. This way you won't miss any of my videos. Also, there's a thing on there that says personal and all. Hit the all. This way you'll get them every time for the notifications. I'm trying to, grow, trying to do commentary about what's going on. And I want to thank you again. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay real. This is the Geek Protagonist. I'm out, and I'll see you.